What's up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and we are here today with a brand new review of Power Book 2 Ghost Season 3, Episode 4. The Land of Opportunity is the title of this episode, and this was a pretty good episode, you guys. Now, before we get into this episode, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel, and you guys aren't subscribed yet, then do me a solid favor and stop taking me out on this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. Do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, turning on your post notifications, and sharing the video. And with that out of the way, without further ado, let's discuss Power Book 2 Ghost, shall we? All right, you guys, so I am going to go all out of order with this episode. So we're going to start off with talking about Jenny, Sax, Blanca, and the likes, right? So we see Jenny and Sax, right? So they were out with each other, and you guys know that Sax is trying to get all the information that he can on the redacted files from Theo's case in order to help Davis get Theo out of prison, right? So he's asking Jenny for help. Jenny, however, doesn't really want to help Sax. She more so just wants to take down Davis, right? To prove that Davis is working with the Tejadas as well as working with Tariq with his RICO case, right? So Sax was like, well, if you give me those Theo Rollins files, then that gives me access to Davis, because if I can get his brother out of prison, that, that opens up the floodgates for him to trust me a lot more. So if he trusts me, then I can get in the room and we can get to this. So he showed her the picture that he took of Davis, Tariq, and Monet, right? So Jenny got a phone call and she stepped away to take the phone call. And you also know that Jenny has another phone in her purse. So that phone is ringing. So Sax took that phone out and he took a picture of the phone number, right? I was thinking he might call it at some point, but we'll see, right? So then we see later in the episode where Jenny did give Sax the Theo case files, right? So she also got a phone call from Blanca and he was like, so who is that? Are you seeing someone else? She said, if I was seeing someone else, I'm not seeing you. So he asked, so he's trying to get deeper to figure out who she's dealing with, right? So she eventually says, come on, let's go. Because he said I could follow you. She said, let's go. So she took him to see Blanca, right? And he was like, her? She's like, him? Y'all know how Blanca annoys my nerve. Blanca on the ring. This piece of shit. Oh God, I really want her to lose that fake ass accent. I really need the woman to lose that accent. It's so terrible. He can't be trusted. Girl, we can't trust you either. Like, I really want everybody. I want all of the police, the DEA, everybody. I just want them to catch a pop, 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 pop to the head, right? So they went back and forth, but I guess they're on board with each other working together, right? So Jenny says, you know what, I got something else that I got to handle. So we see Jenny. So Jenny has been getting blown up by Lauren, right? So Lauren is freaking out like, you got me out here with no Wi-Fi, no nothing, and 2 cans of Spam. I was like, ugh, 2 cans of Spam? Girl, nah. No. So Jenny takes out these pictures, right? It's Kane, Tariq, Monet, Diana, right? So Lauren told her that, she saw she saw Tariq talk to Monet and his body language kind of changed a little bit, it's as if she was basically giving the orders to him, right? And then she told him, she showed Tariq the spot that's up on the roof, right, at Stansfield at one point. Then the next time she went back up there, what's his name? Zeke's cousin was there, right? And she was like, who? She said, Kane? She says, no, Diana. I was like, girl, you already in a wick sack. Like, I wouldn't say anything else. I would tell this bitch, girl, I want to go home. I want something. Like, I need some kind of freedom, bitch. Somebody left this in the comments to me about this last week, about Lauren and the whole drug situation, right? That they were threatening to, with the whole thing about them finding the drugs and they were going to, report her and everything. It might have been a misdemeanor at best, right? And she just basically did all this stuff for nothing, right? The thing that I said in the comments about that is it might have, you guys remember, Lauren's brother was on drugs. So I feel like Lauren didn't want to hear anything from her parents. And I think that's really what it was. I don't think it was the charges that she was worried about. I think it was her parents that she was mostly worried about, right? So we see Blanca. So Blanca is telling Jenny about a CI that is part of this white, these white racists, and that they're going to be doing an arms deal, and that, you know, the guy Gordo. So Gordo is the name of the guy that was with Drew last week. And I do want to address one comment that was left last week on my video too, right? When I called Carrie a hoe. I called Carrie a hoe, and you know, somebody was like, Carrie wasn't a hoe. I mean, technically, yes, she was a sexually liberated woman, right? We're not gonna take that away from Carrie. She was sexually liberated, but Carrie had bodies. Like, Carrie had gotten around. And so the person was like, you know, what do you say about Drew? Shit, Drew is a hoe too. Since Drew broke up with Everett, Drew is a hoe. We saw Drew with multiple men, so two things can be true, right? And for me, and I know you were new to the channel, so I do want to say that's, you know, I don't body shame, I don't slut shame, I don't do none of that. I'm cool. I don't have an issue with that. I just had an issue with Carrie. I just couldn't stand Carrie. If you go back and watch season 1 and 2, I hated Carrie. So that's why I say things about Carrie. I just hated Carrie's character. Nothing personal, you know. I love sex workers, right? I applaud sex workers. So no shade on my end, right? No shade to sex workers, and no shade to anybody who likes sex. Like, shit, we're human. We're human, right? So Blanca is going to follow up on this thing with the CI with the white racist, right? And Jenny is going to go over to Stansfield to see what she can find out. So later in the episode, we see as Blanca went to this hotel room, and I'm saying all this stuff now, but I'm going to make it make sense in a little bit, right? So Blanca went back to this hotel, this seedy ass hotel, by the way, and she's asking about the CI. So the CI got hit in the back, and he got hit by a spine, so he's in critical condition. He's in and out of consciousness, right? Well, she wants to talk to him. Girl, I hope somebody gets to him before you can. Because that's going to... I knew, like, when I was watching this episode and I saw him, I'm like, that guy has to be the CI, because he's doing a little too much. He's being a little, he's asking questions, but he's doing a lot for me. So we're gonna pause here and we're gonna move forward, you guys. So next up, we're gonna talk about Effie, Tariq, Brayden, Kane, and Drew before we talk about the Tejadas, right? So we see the crew, and you guys know they have to pay Noma, right? So they met up with Noma's guy who does not see it for them, right? And they told him, like, you know, the money will be wired to you tomorrow. And, you know, Brayden had something to say. He said he called Brayden a pale little gnome. I cracked up when he called that boy a pale little gnome. He's like, you don't have to be so rude. I was like, Brayden, shut up, right? So remember, they're doing everything that Mecca used to do. I was like, I don't know that that's a good idea for y'all to try to do everything that Mecca did, because we all know that Mecca was into some other things, right? So the guy dropped a crate in front of them, and he opened it, and it was nothing but a bunch of guns. I was like, who's supposed to move that? Who's supposed to move that, Harpo? He said, y'all little motherfuckers supposed to move it. I said, ooh, good luck with that. And then I was like, how y'all gonna move some arms? Like, it was some silencers, oh God, there's some silencers, some AK-47s. Ooh, Jesus. Now that's a gun that needs to be taken away from. That's a different conversation for a different day, right? So Tariq was like, well, how about we just give Noma the money that we owe her and we keep these? And Kane was like, do you got the money to pay for that shit? He was like, so they were like, y'all don't worry about it. Me and Drew will handle it. I'm like, how are you and Drew gonna handle it? But that's neither here nor there, right? So also, I do want to point out that at one point, Kane was talking to Effie. So Kane has figured it out that Effie was the one that got to Lauren and not Brayden, right? So he's talking to her. She's like, how the fuck you know that shit? Who told you? So he was like, I'm gonna tell Tariq he got a real one by himself. She's like, no, you don't tell Tariq anything. I'm gonna tell Tariq when the time is right. I'm like, girl, the time was right a few episodes ago, but that's neither here nor there, right? So Effie then pulled Braden to the side. She's like, so you told Kane that I took out Lauren? He's like, nah, I never said anything about that. Like, I didn't say anything to him about that. She also called him about choking on last week's episode about not taking that guy out, right? So we move over to the classroom. So in the classroom, Harper is talking about the land of opportunity, right? You guys, I don't know. There are so many things that I could say about the land of opportunity. Yes, the U.S., America is a land of opportunity, right? That's why so many people come here. But we know that there's so much stuff that goes on in America that doesn't always make this country 100% even for everybody, right? Us versus them. It's not really us versus them, but there's a difference between us. We have to work 10 times harder, whereas these people, sometimes they don't have to work hard. They can do the bare minimum. And I'm gonna give you guys a perfect example of that. Look at Braden and look at Tariq, right? Braden is a Weston. His last name alone got him into Stansfield, right? He might not even have the credentials to get to Stansfield, but because his family's name is on buildings there, he was able to get in. He got suspended from school. He is working at his family's firm. Tariq couldn't even get a damn internship, but Braden is working at his family's business, right? So the land of opportunity is, you can take it however you want to take it, right? But it's yes, it could be the land of opportunity, but not necessarily, right? Because, and if you looked at this exercise, right? So Harper and Salim had the kids write down, what did they have them write down? They had them write something they had a piece of white paper, right? And they were asked a set of questions, right? They were asked to write down a life goal that they want to achieve, right? So when they were asked the questions, it was like, have you ever lived on public assistance? If you have, takes 2 steps back. If your family, if you got into the school based off of certain, just like Braden, if you got in here because of your family's name or whatever, right? Step 4. So it just kind of showed the disparities between privileged people and people without privilege, basically. And so, is this really the land of, yes, it's the land of opportunity, but again, like I said, some people have to work harder than others. So take it how you want to take it, right? So we see Effie. So Effie was talking to Tariq, and Effie knows that Tariq wrote down family. And he says that's all he can really think of, is Yaz and Tasha. So she asked him, when you graduate college and you get your trust fund, what happens when you blow through that trust fund? Like, this game is hard enough, so you're gonna have to, so that with that, you're gonna be involving your family in this situation. I was like, very smart, right? You guys know she has the plan of, she wants to go to graduate school, and I think she said it gets 50 bands, she gets 50 bands, right? So she has her end goal. She knows that she wants to basically quit this drug game once she graduates, from Stansfield and goes to graduate school. She knows what she wants to do. Tariq, not so much, right? So she was about to she was about to tell Tariq the situation with Lauren, but Braden telling him that Uncle Lucas wants him, right? So we see Tariq as he got down to the office, and RSJ was there. Now, I think RSJ kind of put 2 and 2 together when it came to Uncle Lucas, that Uncle Lucas is basically, because he figured it out with Tariq in last week's episode, that the reason why he's here is so that, basically black man, right? Now, Uncle Lucas would have lost me when he compared RSJ to Elon Musk. I would have been like, say, what now? Oh, no, sir. Peace out to you, right? But RSJ really wasn't interested in what he was selling, so he eventually left, and Uncle Lucas got mad at Tariq. And Tariq was like, but I'm just the intern. I can tell you what I see, but I'm just a lowly ass intern, right? So Uncle Lucas told Tariq that your internship is done. He was like, no, I need this internship. He says, okay, well, you get RSJ back here. And if you get him back here and signed, then you keep your internship. I'm like, that's called that sounds like a little bit of bribery, right? Bribery. I was gonna say blackmail, but it's not really black. But that's definitely bribery. So you want me to? So you're telling me that in order? Nah. Yeah. So we see Braden and Teresa. They were walking down the street and talking. So Tariq has to figure out what he needs to do to get RSJ back to the office, and they got a text message about the order. So the servers were overheated, right? I was like, I don't know nothing about tech, so I can't really speak toward that, right? So we see Tariq. So Tariq went down to Tate's office to try to get some help with RSJ. And Tate tells Tariq that RSJ is just as clean as Obama is, right? So he says, but if RSJ is giving you the time of day, then there's something that he obviously wants from you. So it's up to you to figure out what it is that he wants, right? So then Tate tells Tariq, and also, I need you to go to my Instagram, click that link, right, and donate to my campaign. Tariq was like, I ain't got no damn money. He was like, okay, well, I can talk to Detective Rodriguez if you want me to. He was like, wait a minute, what are you talking about? He said, yeah, when I got on that stage and perjured for my black ass lied, they coming after me, right? So he told Tariq, I need you to make $5,000 payments to my campaign weekly. I was like, ooh, Tate ain't nothing but a crook and a criminal. So he told Tariq what he knows, right, about Dante, and he says, do you know anything about that? Tariq said, I do not. But yeah, my brother, $5,000 in my account for my campaign, and oh, Tate is a crooked ass. Tate is crooked as hell. Tate is crooked. He's crooked. He's crooked, right? So we do see Tariq. So Tariq was able to get RSJ back down to the office with Lucas, and Lucas apologized to RSJ, and he was like, I know damn well you did not just drag me all the way down here just for this damn apology. Tariq says no. So there was a reason that RSJ is taking interest in Tariq. So you guys remember the Queen's Child Project, the thing that Ghost always talked about in the last few seasons, right? Of the original Power. So I guess there's something that RSJ wants to build, but he can't do it because the Queen's Child Project is basically in the way of him building it, right? So Tariq will help him with the Queen's Child Project if he agrees to sign on with Lucas. So RSJ was like, if you help me, it's a deal. So we're in business, right? So then we see Tariq telling Effie, that he closed the deal. She's happy for him. And, he's thinking that, about what she's saying about, getting out the drug game once he graduates school, right? He's thinking about it. He says, and maybe, I can come out there to Stanford in California and kick it with you. So they did their thing, and while he sleeps, she texts Kane like, hey, Kane, Tariq is a good person to me. I don't want to mess anything up, right? I don't want to mess it up, so can you keep my secret? Kane said yes. You guys, I don't necessarily know if I trust Kane. I'm just going to keep it a real with you guys. You guys know I like Kane, right? But I don't know that I necessarily trust that. So let's pause here and go ahead and move forward and wrap up the episode. All right, you guys, so the episode opened up and we saw that the coffee business was booming, right? Effie had to go off on somebody who messed up an order, and that's that. So then we see Kane. So Kane had gotten a text message from Tariq about Noma's payment, right? Which was due that day. So Lorenzo had a surprise for Monet, and it was a mural of Zeke. Now, granted, that did not look like Zeke in that mural, but I'm gonna give him an A for effort, right? And the whole family is there, including Diana. When Diana showed up, Monet was looking at her like, bitch, what you doing here, right? And then she also noticed Kevin in the background. She's like, what the fuck are you doing here, motherfucker? Like, why are you bothering me? Why are you harassing me? So they asked her, like, what's going on? She said, he's been harassing me. So they eventually got him to leave, right? He's still talking about the fact that Monet took out Carrie and that he saw her going into Dante's place the night that Dante died. I was like, God, dog, will you just, oh, Jesus. Like, do that. I don't want to say the word, but do that, Kevin. Do that. So Lorenzo asked Monet, like, how long has this been going on? She says it's been going on for weeks, but I'm working with Davis to basically silence him. So she told them family meeting, right? So Diana was going to come in. She said private family meeting. I was like, well, damn, bitch. Like, ooh, you was an old mean bitch, right? She told her to go back to school. So we see them. They went inside in the bar, and so she asked them like, "What's good with business?" Right? So Kane said, "Business is booming. Noma gave us so much pride, so much weight that we had to go get help from the Castillos and the Jamaica Avenue boys, right?" And she was like, "The Castillos, Uncle Frank's kids, right?" Yeah, no, we not gonna do business with them. Like we took Uncle Frank out, and Kane was like, "Because Uncle Frank was a rat." She said, "We don't know what Evelyn is feeding them." Like, no, cut that. Kane was like, "Nah, we finna do business with them." And she looked at Lorenzo like, "What the fuck?" And Lorenzo was like, "I agree with Kane, right?" And she like, "Huh?" So Lorenzo and Kane left, and it was just her and Drew in there. She's like, "What the fuck going on with them?" He's like, "I don't know. They've been acting funny for quite some time now." Well, girl, once you find out why they acting funny, once Monet puts two and two together, I wonder what she gonna do to Kane. Cause Kane, he been itching for a bullet for a look. Kane been itching for a bullet since season 2. Kane actually been itching for a bullet since season 1. I really wonder what Monet gonna do when she find out that Kane knew this and didn't tell her. She ain't gonna like it. She gonna be a pissed ass woman, right? So we see Lorenzo. So Lorenzo went to go see Diana, right? So Diana gave him the money from the last drugs that she sold, right? And he tried to give us more. She's like, "No, Poppy, I'm not doing that." So he told her, "Well, if Norma don't get her money, then she's coming for all of us, right? And we in this together. And I'm paying for this. I'm paying for." I'm like, "Oh, okay. So you finna use the fact that you got me into this school, you paying for my tuition, but you ain't paying for no motherfucking books. Like I'm having to work in a candy store to pay for a book. So where's your money really going, Lorenzo Tejada?" I would, ooh, Lorenzo gots to go, bitch. So we see Monet. She went down to Davis about Kevin, saying that, Kevin is trying to say that she is the one that, killed Zeke. And Davis says that, well, we can give him an alibi. She was like, he ain't gonna believe nothing that I say. Sure enough, right? So then he suggests Diana. I was like, Diana? So what is Diana supposed to say to him? That's what I was confused about. Like when he mentioned Diana, I was like, huh? So she was like, okay, well we'll get Diana to go talk to him. But while Diana's talking to him, I need you to break into his place and figure out what he even has, right? And he was like, huh? So she gave him some money. He said, "I know some people who can do a B&E and none the wiser, right?" So we see Monet. So Monet went to go see Diana to ask her for the favor with Kevin. Diana is in her feelings because she's like, "Ma, you blame me for Zeke's death." Well, I mean, girl, you opened your big ass mouth, so if the shoe fits, wear it, right? Now, granted, you ain't the one that pulled the trigger, but sis, you and that tea that you spilled last season at the dinner table, that was the catalyst. Like the ball was rolling from that point. Like it was just trickle, 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 trickle. So you kind of set these things in motions. Like so, you gotta kind of own up to it, right? So we then see Drew and Gordo. So Gordo is at the penthouse, right? And they flirting with each other, but Gordo's like, he don't mix business with pleasure. So and he's like, "We play cousins." I was like, "Play cousins? Did you say play cousins, sir? Sir, sit down and have sex with Drew, because you want to, right?" So Drew then tells Gordo about these guns that they have to unload, right? And Gordo was like, "Well, I know somebody who will take them, right? But the thing is, he's racist." And I was with Drew like, wait, wait. Whoa, no. Say what now? You want me to sell some AK-47s, some silencers, and the likes to a known racist, and I'm black? Ain't no way in hell, bitch. Ain't no way in hell. So Gordo basically was telling Drew like, You want the respect from your father and your brother, right? Well, there you go. So when Lorenzo and Kane came in, Drew told them the situation, and they were like, he was like, the only thing is, we need a white face. And Kane was like, I got one. So we see Lorenzo, so he's talking to Kane later in the episode, and he's telling Kane basically like, this shit with me and you, it's gotta end. Kane was like, it ain't gotta end no time soon, because I'm running the family. I'm calling all the plays. I was like, y'all know how I feel about Kane. Y'all know that Kane is the muscle, right? Kane, his decision making skills are terrible at best, and it kind of showed up in this episode. Granted, how I feel. Granted, the things that I might feel about Lorenzo, he is kind of smart in a sense, right? So, like I said, Kane told him he's running the family, so sit down and shut the fuck up, right? So we see Diana and Salim, and they were making out with each other, right? And she put a pause on it. So he asked her if she meant what she wrote on her card. So she wrote independence on her card, and she said yes. So he says, well, maybe you need to reevaluate your relationship with your family. Then he talks about seeing her with Kane and with Lorenzo. I was like, sir, I think you are biting off more than you can chew at this point, right? I think you might want to just sit down and shut the fuck up and mind your business, because I think you finna catch a bullet somewhere at some point, sir. I just really see it. I don't see Salim making it out of season 3. And if he does make it out of season 3, he will be gone in the first few episodes of season 4. That's what I think, right? So we see Diana. So she went to go see Kevin, right? And she's asking him who killed Zeke. He tells her he thinks that Monet did it because Monet took out Carrie, and Zeke was gonna talk, so she then took Zeke out. The way that she was so protective of Zeke, you really believe that woman would take out her own son? There are a lot of things you can say about Monet, but she loves Zeke without a doubt, right? So I don't think why would you think that she would do that, right? So Diana then tells him about, the books for the bar that are at the house. She knows where they are. And she tells him, he says, well, find a time when Monet and Lorenzo are not there. So she was like, okay. And because she says she wants to know what really happened, right? And she says, if Monet did this, I want her out of this family because she is the cancer to the family, right? So we see Drew and Gordo. So they show up to where Kane, Lorenzo, and Braden are, right? They're getting ready to go do this arms deal. And Kane told Drew, nigga, you cut out. I was like, oh, wow. He says, but you will still get paid. But what I want from you is for you to go up to Queens. So we see as Braden is doing the arms deal, right? And so the guy is asking him, like, what's your name? He said, I didn't say. So he's telling his guys, I need you to find out who that is. So he took a picture of Braden. So then we see Braden, after he got the money and they got the guns, that they went back, Braden went back to the CD motel room, right? And that's where Kane and Lorenzo were, right? So they were like, you can skedaddle. He's like, I want to help y'all count the money. Kane says, no, get the fuck out, right? And Lorenzo says, yeah, go. So Braden left and the guys were there and they took a picture of Braden's car. Oh my God. And that was the CI, you guys. That's the CI. And he took a picture. He took two pictures of Braden. He took a picture of Braden after the deal went through, and he took a picture of Braden's car. So that's gonna, if don't nobody get to him, that's gonna come back up at some point. But I feel like they're gonna get that man at some point, or he might just kick the bucket, right? So once Braden left, the racist men just kicked into the room. So Lorenzo and Kane took them both out, took all those three men that came in the room, they took them out. Then they went out the door and the CI started shooting at them, and then Drew and Gordo showed up and took out one of his guys, and then Drew shot the guy in the back, and that's the one that's in critical condition that I told you guys about earlier in the review, right? So Kane eventually apologized to Lorenzo, and he told him that his secret is safe with him. It's only safe, it ain't safe no more. So remember, I was telling you guys that Diana met up with Kevin to tell Kevin about the stuff that Monet has. Well, Kevin snuck into the house and it was a setup. I was like, thank God, because I was ready to cuss that little bitch out. I was gonna have some words for that. I'm gonna have some choice words for Miss Diana, because so she called the police and was like, someone broke into my house. So then Monet was behind him, and he's like, I'm a police officer. She's like, tell your bitch I said hey. I was like, well, she confirmed it. She took out Kara, which we all knew that. She just popped him. I was like, well, damn, Monet, you didn't even flinch. So she told Diana to punch her to make it look like he hit her in the self-defense, right? And, Diana said she said no, but then she eventually did it. I'm like, girl, that was your one chance to get your lick on your mama, and she took it. So Davis showed up, and Davis was like, are you insane? That was not part of the plan, right? So he had the documents that they got from Kevin's place, right? He says, once you're, done with this stuff, I'll give them to you, right? So we find out that the documents that he had was from the crime, the scene of Zeke's murder, right? And Lorenzo's partial prints are all over the scene. I was like, ooh. So Davis told her not to do anything, let him deal with it, right? I'm like, Davis, she just took out Kevin. Why do you think that this woman is gonna let you handle it? She's gonna get to the bottom of it her damn self. And Lorenzo, sir, it was nice knowing you. Not really, but you definitely. I said Salim ain't making that out of season 3, but I know for damn sure Lorenzo Tejada ain't making that out of season 3 alive. That's all I gotta say. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode down in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel, turn on your post notifications, share the video, and until the next time, you guys stay safe, take care of yourselves, wash your hands, be blessed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.